everyone. This is another episode of Naturalist F. I want to thank all my listeners who tune in every week to get some valuable information, to talk health with me. There's a lot of shows out here. Excuse me. There's a lot of shows. There's a lot of, on the radio. There's a lot of shows on television. There's a lot of different platforms where people are trying to teach health. Some of them are trained, some of them ain't trained. Some of them never study, some of them have studied. Some of them are suffering with disease and healed themselves, and some of them are just, you know, making money. In natural hygiene, the average person who finds natural hygiene is a person who suffered with disease and tried everything. Natural hygiene is usually the last teachings are, well, it will be the last one that an individual need because it's the one that will help you. We're all in search of that. We can find that one thing that can help heal me and correct me, then I don't need to look for another. So natural hygiene is that biology of science that teaches you how to correctly heal yourself without any use of any herbs, remedies, or any outside treatments or anything like that. Whereas other means, you know, they may vary. They may help you. They may cause other issues. Breathing. What we teach you about eating ideal fruits and vegetables, drinking clean water, they don't have side effects. The only effects that it have is healing effects. It actually, if you drink clean water, you know, you will start feeling better. You'll be hydrating yourself. If you get more rest, you'll have more energy. You know, you won't have, thoughts of suicide, arthritic pains show up in your legs, or death, what I'm saying, from, eating healthier, drinking healthier, getting, fresh air over breathing in toxic chemical laden air. You know, this is just, it's like plain common sense, but to some, they cannot interpret it. To them, the only thing they know is drugs and healing them. When anytime they cough, I got to go take some cough medicine. Anytime they sneeze, they got to go and take some sneezing medicine. No matter if a pain hit them, then they got to do something for the pain. If they can't sleep at night, then they got to take something to put them to sleep. And if they need to stay up because they're sleepy, they got to take something to stay up. It's always taking something. We don't get in alignment with what our body is telling us or even interpret what our body is telling us. We're not even aware that our body is telling us something. This is where we teach the ideal, ways of health that you can create some health within yourself. Like I say, I want to thank everyone who's tuned into our show for the longest, have been following us, making sure that you can see, a good quality of face here. We want to thank the ATR media platform for always, backing us and helping us spread this message of holistic health to, so many different people, because our bodies are suffering right now all throughout this world right now. And the conditions for health are the same for every man, woman, and child, just like every rose bush. Every rose bush need the ideal, set of laws that governs it. It need fresh air. It need water. It need the right food items in the soil. The soil need to be at the right, pH balance. The water must be clean and get it so often. Certain flowers require watering daily. Certain flowers require watering every other day. Once you understand how to properly take care of that flower, you'll grow the beautiful you'll grow beautiful flowers every year round. Every time when it's time for those flowers to bloom, they'll bloom perfectly and beautiful for you every time with no problem. No disease to come to it, anything like that, because only disease come to plants that are rotting material. That's what parasites come and eat away decaying matter, dead matter. That's their job, you know. So if you want to make sure, if we take this idea what we're talking about away from the plant and we take it back to the human body, we see that the human body got conditions for health. And natural hygiene teaches the conditions for health. And that's what we teach here on Natural is Health. We teach natural hygiene. We don't indulge with no other teaching. You don't hear me indulging in any type of herbal talk. You don't hear me talking anything about the benefits of medication, anything. I do not prescribe medication. I do not suggest medication, anything like that. I do not even do that with herbs or remedies or any such cures or wise fables of the past or anything like that. We don't talk about that stuff. What we do talk about is the condition for health. We talk about fresh air, sunlight, water, and stuff like that. We get you to understand the human body a little better. So we definitely want to thank this platform for bringing this information to all our listeners. Now, if you have any question about health, you can definitely put it up there on the, type it in, share it with us, and we'll, help answer that for you. We'll help answer that question for you. Or if you just got a statement you want to share with us, we have no problem with you sharing that up here with us. We do want you to share this information with some of your friends. Share it with some of your loved ones. If you know loved ones who's suffering with disease, and our topic today is a great topic. So many of our children are losing their tonsils. They're losing their adenoids. And so many teenagers and young adults are losing their appendixes. And this is what our show is on today, to get you, first of all, to understand when you go to the medical doctor and he start taking stuff out of you, he's just cutting stuff out of you. He first don't even tell you what caused your disease. He don't know. They don't even believe that appendices, most of them don't believe that appendices, they say it's an unnecessary thing that is inside of our body and has no, matter of fact, I want to make sure I read it properly. And this is the human book, a book on anatomy. And if we look up the appendix in here, when we read about the appendix, it tells us that it is a piece that has no human function. All right. It's just a piece, a tag onto the lower part of the large intestines. It just sits there and it has no reason for being there. Now, that's something that we're going to discuss later on, and you tell me if it has a reason or not after the information that we provide for you. We're gonna go to bed and we're gonna get some better understanding about those organs, the nature of those organs, and the cause of their suffering. So the nature is what's the reason behind this organ? We're gonna teach a little physiology here. We're gonna get an understanding. Well, what's the nature of a cough? Well, we know that's meaning what's the purpose of that cough? When we say what's the nature of a cough, what's the purpose behind a cough? Well, to free the bronchioles or the throat from some type of blockage. If something is in there or something need to be thrown out or something like that, well, only a cough can do that. Well, if something need to come out of your nose, guess what have to do it? Only a sneeze can get it out. If something have to come out through your skin, sweating and eruptions, that's the only thing that can make that happen. So there's what if there's matter decomposing in your stomach, either it's going to sit there and rot, or a diarrhea going to form. So, what's the nature of a diarrhea? To free rotten material from the digestive tract. See that definition? The purpose or nature of a diarrhea is to free the digestive tract of rotting material or destructive material, irritating material, material that may cause death to the organism. The body forcefully and quickly remove the waste via the colon. Now, if this is the case, then why do we stop the diarrhea with medications, herbs, and remedies, and different type of practices? We stop the cure, or we stop the body's natural action. That's a natural action of the body to diarrhea out poisonous waste. The natural reaction to phlegm building up in mucus that is trapped with, well, that has trapped a bunch of toxin, the natural instinct is to cough it up and spit it out. So that's a natural action. If there's toxins that's being sent via the throat and being dripped out through the glands that sit up under our throat, such as the tonsils and other glands that sit behind here around our throat area, when those glands are filled up, they drain into the throat. So you have that drainage that seeps into the throat, and you cough it up or you swallow it. So the nature to cough is to cough out these things. Now, when those toxins that's being sent out of the gland and being dumped into your throat is really acidic and irritating, then you have the raspy throat. You have the irritation in the throat. You want, why is my throat so sore? Because you got toxins that's coming from your glands that's being dumped into your throat that is highly irritating, and they're damaging tissue as they come out. So you have the sore throat. And that will continue until all the poison is drained from that gland. So as long as there's poison in the gland, you're going to constantly have that irritation in the throat. All right. Now, we don't have to have these issues if we properly drain our body of waste. The glands only hold poisons when the regular organs of elimination don't filter the body properly. Like if you're not urinating properly or having bowel movements properly or breathing properly, then your body don't have proper elimination. You're not draining your body of waste. So anytime there is faulty drainage in the body, where you're not urinating properly, you're not having bowel movements properly, your quality of air exchange is not proper, then your body is retaining carbon, it's retaining waste, solid waste, and it's retaining chemical waste, crystals like sugar crystals, salt crystals, uric crystals, and other crystals that the kidneys is supposed to get rid of. So these things are not coming out of your body properly. So they must be stored in the body somewhere. They can't just be allowed to just roam free throughout the body. So the body traps these poisons in these glands. You know, they just can't roam the body. So they're put in jail, in other words. We're going to call it the glands, the lymphatic system in their glands, these lymph nodes in different areas. They're like prison for, toxic material or agents that are harmful to the body. The white blood cells, they come there and they trap them. Macrophages. Macrophages are like Pac-Man. They open up a mouth, and if a particle, a toxic particle is there, a macrophage will come and it'll engulf that poison. And that poison is then rendered harmless because now it's inside of a macrophage. And the macrophage then travels to a gland to either be discarded out of the body or just dump that waste in the gland until the gland can then dump it out. Most times you lose the macrophage along with the poison because it don't want to let go. It's going to go out the body along with that poison. It sacrifices itself. It's like what you call those pilots that would, go ahead and kill themselves to kill off a bunch of people, like kamikaze pilot. So that's what these macrophages be sometimes. They kamikaze killer cells. When toxins come in, they come in, grab them, and take them out of the body. That's their job. And it's all in these glands. These glands are like, stopping points before they're eliminated out of the body. And they're safe spots to put these you'll say criminals in the body away until where they don't do no harm or damage or steal your health. So they're put them out of the way in these lymph glands. And some of these lymph glands are these, like our adenoids and our tonsils, all those are glands that trap waste and poisons. They trap the ones that are coming in. They like on guard. You know what I'm saying? Right here around your nose, because that's what the adenoids is, a ring of like tonsils, glands that trap waste when you breathe in, but they also trap waste that's circulating through your body. Same thing with the tonsils. Tonsils sit right back up in your throat, and they also trap waste that is coming in through your mouth. But they also trap waste from internal, that's circulating internal. And you have different glands strategically placed out throughout your body to house and store waste products and harmful material that may try to enter into our body, or materials that are formed in our body that has become toxic. Then they too are stored or considered cancerous or toxic, and is stored also as waste material in these waste bins called glands until they are emptied and drained via some mucus drip, via some snotting, via some coughing, via some diarrhea, or slightly released back into the body when you have proper elimination. When your kidneys start working better, then it'll release a little bit at a time to allow you to get rid of it. It's not just going to dump everything into the system, because that can cause you death. Your body is just a wonderful, miraculous thing. All right. So here we already learned what a tonsil, the nature of a tonsil and the nature of the adenoids. It's to trap poisons, trap waste. So how is it, like, why does it become a problem where the surgeon believes that the only good thing to do is to take it out? Well, why do it swell? That's the question that we're trying to wonder here. The tonsils is there to trap poison and house poison. Well, let's look at it. Those organs, which the tonsils, the adenoids, they're like balloons. Are like trash bags. A healthy trash bag. You know what I mean? One that you can keep putting stuff in there, and all it's going to do is stretch the bag out wider and wider. The bag won't bust when it's a healthy sack. You know what I mean? So it's just, you just keep stuffing stuff in there, and it have to expand to take on more waste. The more waste you have circulating in your blood, then that waste must be stored in the tonsils, and the tonsils are going to swell. All right, they're going to keep swelling according to the amount of toxins circulating through your body. Now, if we look at all the kids that are suffering with tonsillitis, you got to think what we're feeding them. We usually have them on a high salty diet, which they'll be eating a bunch of tater chips, they'll be drinking a bunch of juices, they'll be eating a bunch of ice cream and stuff like that. Things that are fermenting and rotting in their system and producing waste and toxins. All right. And then now the tonsils have to step up. And other glands are there too. It's just that the doctor is not looking at those unless they also become a real source of problem. Because when the tonsils swell, they put pressure on other areas of the body. That's why you feel pain. Because as they blow up, they put pressure on nerve endings, they put pressure on the throat. You can't hardly swallow because it has nowhere to expand to. So it taking up the area of other organs and tissue, thus putting pressure on them, and you feeling pain or having disruption in other organs functions because you know the tonsils is too big and too swollen in them. But why are they big? Because they're housing a bunch of waste. So how can we stop and get them to go smaller? Well, we got to get rid of the waste. We got to detoxify the body. A detoxified body, well, it has no reason to store waste in the tonsil. It has no reason to store waste in the adenoids. Now imagine when we take out the adenoids in the tonsil. Now we didn't change our habits. We didn't change the conditions. All we did was took out the organs that was the first defense, or the organs that would trap the waste and poisons and stop them from circulating. I don't know if you understood what I just said. If you really listen to what I just said, you should be able to like, wow, why do we even do that? That is a medical blunder to take out an organ that is actually responsible for protecting us from danger. That's come from within, and danger that is also coming from without. That's called endogenous toxins, toxins that originate from within us, and exogenous toxins, toxins that originate from without or come in from without, like our food, our drink, air quality, and different poisons that we ingest. Then you got the ones from within, like, from bad eating, we produce poison, from cells dying, they become poisonous to us and harmful. Cells from damage, and they have to be repaired and removed and stuff. They are harmful to the body. So there's toxins created from without and within, and they must be dealt with. And the immune system is one of the main systems that deals with the repairing, the cleanup, and the protection of the body from all danger, spent debris, agents and materials and substances that gain entrance to the body and can cause death to the organism. So it's very important that we make sure that we protect our body through protecting our immune system. And how we protect our immune system is by eating proper. There's no other immunity except for by not using your immune system. Your immune system is like your army. We've said that in other shows. Your immune system is like your army. It protects your body. All right? It protects your body from foreign material. That's what the book said. It says that the immune system, I'm going to pull it out where we can actually say it in the way that they said it. All right, so we're gonna go to page 154 in their book. All right, and the definition that they have for immune system is the adaptable system of body defenses, centers on specialized white blood cells called lymphocytes, which respond to invasion by varied microorganisms. The complexities of the system led, wherever possible, to immunity, in which, after the first attack, the body is protected or resistant to future incursions by each particular type of microorganism. Well, let's look at that. A lot of that is misinformation, but some of it is right on fact. But a lot of times, if, like, for example, alcohol poisoning, you go and drink some alcohol, and your immune system is going to attack that alcohol. All right. Now, when you go back to the bar tomorrow and you drink some more alcohol, well, the immune system still have to go to work. And every time you go and drink alcohol and use your immune system, you lose your immune system. It becomes weaker every time it is activated. It doesn't become stronger and be able to kill off alcohol poisoning and stuff like that. Not if you keep giving your body poison, you will weaken your immune system to a point where it no longer will be able to operate. It'll be deficient in action. It won't even act when you bring a poison in. You'll have no defense, because if you constantly keep poisoning yourself with a substance over and over and over and over, your immune system don't learn how to, beat it. No, it's losing a battle every time you poison yourself. Now, that's a different way of looking at this thing. But if you look at it, mostly everybody who's suffering with immunodiseases, they're weak. Their body no longer respond. Any old thing can enter their body and cause them sickness. Well, if they've been exposed to stuff, why doesn't it make them stronger? You see what I'm coming from? If they've been exposed to these so-called issues and parasites that invade their body, why are they not getting stronger after the exposure? Why are they getting sicker and sicker and weaker, and new diseases are forming inside their body? And obviously, exposure to poisons or substances don't make the immune system strong. It actually it weakens the immune system. And if the poison is sustained, then the immune system will eventually reach a point of deficiency. And now you're suffering with a disease they call AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Typically of so-called modern medicine, trade in what we are born with for essence, amputated systems at the mercy of drugs. Well, you said a mouthful right there. Some people might not understand what you said there. Does consumption of wine over candlelight dinner wreck the immune system? Well, wine it does have alcohol in there. So alcohol is a poison. It irritates and damages cells. And then you got to look at it. Wine itself is what? Fermented fruit. So it's like dead fruit. So it might not kill you outright, but any poison, first of all, not only is that wine breaking down your immune system in your body, but also the candle. You might not want to use the candle. That's got you breathing in toxic air, and it's also depending what you're eating. So you might want to look at some other variables into that situation. But the immune system itself is always under attack, and our objective is to remove it from having to fight. Don't you be the reason why your immune system is being weakened. Let it be because you have no choice but to be in toxic air, because that's just the condition of the environment where you work and play. Or you have no, control over how the temperature outside is, because that's just the environment that you live in. Those things you might not have so much of a way of controlling. But what you're eating, you shouldn't be weakening your immune system with toxic food. You shouldn't be weakening your immune system with toxic drinks, because here it is, the immune system is affected by any agent or toxic substance. It must respond. It has to respond. it has no choice but to respond soon as an agent is identified in the body as a rogue and shouldn't be there. It has no business being inside the internal organism. The immune system is activated. And the immune system is not only just activated, it's always scavenging and looking for anything that is out of the norm, that is not, beneficial for a mutual bond in the body. So this is a system that is so intelligent that it is letting, it is warned when agent is present, and it's also out just looking for bad guys that it need to get rid of. If a cell inside the body start acting erratic, it automatically gets rid of it, moves it out of the body. All right. They sit inside the cells and govern the cells. If the cells start acting up, it just, go through a thing of apoptosis, where it just destroys itself. And the cells are okay with that. They know when to get out of the way. So the immune system is a little different than what we were taught about the immune system. It works a little different. And that's why we are not really able to, prevent the sicknesses that mankind is suffering today. I went to, Publix. They're offering drugs right there at Publix. They're telling you to come in there and get drugs from them. I'm pretty sure everywhere going to have drugs, offering drugs soon. You might have drugs at the car wash. You know what I mean? You're able to get you some drugs at the car while you're in there getting the car wash. Drugs probably going to be everywhere. If we allow it to build up a momentum like it is. But we can put a stop to that. But it's going to take for us to, change the way that we're living. We have to change the way that we're living, that we don't cause these tonsillitises, these adenoiditis, and these appendicitis. Now, what are these itises at the end of these organs? What is the itis behind adenoids? What does the itis mean? Why is it itis at the end of these things? Well, itis means inflammation. All right. Well, what causes inflammation? What is the cause of all inflammation? Now, certain inflammation, people don't know what's causing it. And I understand that, but we know there's something causing it, something causing this to become inflamed. So it have to be either two things. They got to be either damage or poison. All right. If it's been damaged, there's inflammation. Let's say that I slammed my hand in the door. It become inflamed. Why? Because I just damaged my hand. Now that inflammation is there to heal that. Also, if I got poison inside my body from what I'm eating, let's say I eat a bunch of beef, and that beef got a bunch of uric crystals and prunes that is the result of me eating it and trying to break it down. I have this leftover product called uric crystals. And these uric crystals cannot leave my kidneys. I can't urinate it out of my kidneys fast enough. These uric crystals must be stored in my body. And guess where they're stored at? They're stored in your joints. A lot of people feel it in their toes and in their feet and their ankles and stuff like that, in the form of gout. That's what they call it, gout. So that storing is down in those joints. Now, what are those uric crystals doing that's causing you to have that pain and that swelling in your toes and joints and stuff? It's irritating. It's irritating. Those acids are damaging and destroying cells. Now, any damage or destruction goes on to the body. The body sends out an inflammatory response. Any damage goes on, it's like the fire trucks are called. And the fire truck is the inflammatory response. So they're going to respond to any type of fire, any type of damage. Oh, it's just one call and they're on their way. So when, they have to respond according to the power to respond. So all this response is action from the body. All right. So you want to make sure that you are stopping all poisons or damage to your body. So if we got itises in our feet due to irritation or damage because somebody stepped on our foot in the club, then we're going to have inflammation. Same thing in any other part of the body. It have to be damage or poison that irritates that organ or tissue, and the inflammatory response is going to present itself in that area. So if you having appendicitis, or if you having tonsillitis, or you having adenoiditis, if that's the correct way to say it. But if you're having itis in your adenoids and your tonsils and your appendix, well, it have to be from damage, or it have to be from poison. Now, if we study the inside of the tonsils while it's inside the human organism, while it's still inside of us, and it can be swollen. If they look in there, they see it's a bunch of matter in there. All right. Inside the adenoids and it's swollen, they see a bunch of matter in there, substance. This substance is not a healthy substance. It's not like it's blood or lymph or any other type of usable material that the body can use. Like decomposing matter, oozing matter. Matter, if leached onto any other thing, it'll destroy it. That's why when those things burst, so-called, when the appendix bursts, it oozes out and spreads and kill all the other organs, burn them up and all type of stuff. Because that stuff inside there is acidic. So those organs and tissues are designed to hold acidic and putrefying material that, if left to float through the body, will damage the body. So what's the nature of the appendix? What's the nature of the tonsils? What's the nature of the adenoids or any of the other lymphatic glands and lymph nodes that are strategically placed throughout the body to protect the body from acrid material? Material that, if let out, will destroy and kill cells and tissues, and then cause your death. Which usually, that's why the doctor said, I'm glad you got here in the nick of time, buddy, because your tonsils was about to burst, or your appendix was about to burst, or those adenoids was about to bust. And so doing so, it will cause a condition known like is cachexia. Cachexia being one that where material is spreading out and damaging and destroying cells and tissue. And that's usually going to be the end. If it's a really toxic and a lot of waste material, it can destroy the body really rapidly. All right. So that's why they tell you, if it was busting the appendix, it could kill you, because the poison inside that, because they tell you inside that appendix is poison. Well, where did the poison come from? Well, where does the appendix sit at? It sit right there at the bottom of the colon. So that poison had to come from out of the colon. A bunch of putrefying waste material that, most times if you really talk to the individual who's suffering from it, he'll let you know, yeah, I haven't been having much bowel movements. I've been having a bunch of diarrheas and stuff like that, and sourness of stomach, and I wasn't feeling terrible, maybe throwing up and all type of stuff. So the body is just trying to get rid of waste material that it's been holding on to in the digestive tract. So what is the nature of the appendix? What is the nature of the tonsil? What is the nature of the adenoids and all other glands? I'm saying this over and over for you to, let it click in your head. It's they'll tell you that the tonsils has no, you don't need it. You don't need your adenoids. You don't need your appendix. Just take out. They just want you to take out anything without properly restoring yourself back to health. Imagine if we had a headache. It's no better way to never have a headache again, because they say you'll never have a swelling in the appendix after they take it out. You'll never have to worry about that again. You never have to worry about your gallbladder if you take it out. You never have to worry about the tonsils again if you take it out. The adenoids if you take it out, or other lymph glands. But there's no way to stop headaches forever. You'll never have to worry about a headache again if we can just chop off the head. You never have to worry about heart disease if we take out the heart. We can't take out organs and tissues just because we don't know how to properly take care of. What we need to do is learn how to properly take care of. How to preserve the human constitution instead of tearing it apart and pulling out stuff like we some shade tree mechanics. Instead of replacing the thermostat, we say you don't need it, run it straight. Um, Instead of replacing the catalytic converter, we knock it out, straight pipe that thing. But those things were put there for a reason, to help flow properly. Just exchange it properly, take care of it properly, and you don't have to worry about it. All right. So my thought for the day is for you to really look at the cause of disease and the nature of the organs that suffer from the cause of disease. Now, in our other shows, if you go back to our other shows, it teach you the cause of disease. The cause of disease is poison. All right. Poison in your blood, poison in your cells, poison in your tissue, poisons in your environment that gain entrance and weaken your body down. We see that in the immune system. It weakens the body down. It destroys tissues and cells. All right. So poison. So our thing is to avoid poison by all means necessary. Certain poisons in our environment we cannot avoid. But there are poisons that we can avoid in our environment, and the ones that we do ourselves. T.C. Frye, one of the a great doctor of hygiene, T.C. Frye, his favorite words were, "Thou shalt not kill thyself," or "Thou shalt not poison thyself." All right, "Thou shalt not poison thyself." That's how it was more or less said by him all the time. "Thou shalt not poison thyself." Why are we poisoning ourselves? So when you become aware, don't try to give an excuse. Well, I always been eating this way. My grandmama lived to be 90 something, eating hog. Well, first of all, she wasn't eating hog like how the hog you're eating today. Different hog. Most time when she grew up, if she 90 something now, that means before IBP and all the other hog factories and farmlands were created, they were raising their own hogs. And they weren't eating it all day long. And their hogs wasn't pesticides filled with antibiotics and all type of other so-called unnatural foods that are feeding these animals today. All these formaldehydes and bombing them to keep them looking good and red and stuff like that in the marketplace. So it's a difference in the food that they're eating. Their lifestyle habits wasn't the same as what we got today. They weren't, with all this television, they wasn't with all this, they was out playing. They wasn't, with all these telephones and TikToks and Facebooks and all type of stuff. They were outside cleaning, working, and playing. They were in the fields and stuff like that. So their conditions is a little different than ours. All we do is sit on the couch. We eat and we play amongst ourselves and not out there in the fresh air or anything like that. Our play is destructive play. We got habits that further weaken our body. So it's a difference. you know. So don't look at one man as being able to indulge in something and you feel that it's okay to indulge in a poison. And you justify that as a reason for you to indulge in the poison. You will notice that your body might not be able to smoke as long as another man, and you end up dying of cancer prematurely while he's still smoking. But you might not notice that he get rest while he smokes and he eat fruits and vegetables. But you, on the other hand, you got a bunch of bad habits in your life that you break down your body even faster. So we don't just talk about food anyhow when we talk about hygiene. Natural hygiene is all those ways that provide the body with sound health, that we don't waste our energy and we don't poison ourselves. We can poison our air and our drink. We can poison our air, we can poison our drink, we can poison our food. Those are poisons that we can allow into our body. We can waste energy by, not maintaining normal temperatures, by not getting proper rest, by allowing stresses in our life, not keeping the will to live, or hanging around a bunch of toxic people. They'll weigh you out. And then you think about it, a bunch of stress build up in your body ain't nothing but poisons too, because stress brings on a bunch of release of cortisol, antihistamines, and all type of other so-called different things. When we have different shocks in our body, poisons going through our body, all kind of stuff causes us to have these, sicknesses and suffering that develop in our body, and it's just from stress. It's a waste of energy. So the whole concept is to conserve energy. Once you conserve energy, you don't have to worry about having toxins staying in your body long, because with high energy, your body will eliminate waste. Your kidneys work better when they have more power. Your colon have more energy and works better when it has more power. Your lungs exchange oxygen for carbon better, and it heals its tissues. It heals lungs faster when you have a lot of energy. So you need energy. You get energy by going to sleep. You conserve energy by being around stressful people, and get rid of your stress. Let go, and maintain normal temperatures, and go to sleep. Get some rest, people. Be moderate in your eating. Drink only clean drinks. Get fresh air. Be moderate in your sun exposure, but get it. And keep clean. You do those things, man, your energy levels will be through the roof. And with your energy levels being through the roof, you'll be healthier. And that's what you want to be at the end of the day. Now, nothing in our teachings said anything about medicine. I ain't got you going, leaving off this show and getting in the car and running down and go and pick up some new herb or remedy or some medical drug or go to some therapy, anything like that. No. It just requires you to be obedient to some natural condition that every last one of us got to do. Not just some of us. It's not that some man need oxygen and another man need to be breathing smoke and inhalation and Febreze. Febreze ain't what you need to be blowing into your air. Some people are spraying Febrezes right there in their noses, and they guess what they do? They spray it and they're like, that smells good. Chemical poison. If you know what was in that Febreze. There's a commercial that Febreze used to have back in the days when it first came in. It used to have it where it used to say you can have a dead chicken, bunch of chicken bones behind your couch. And if you spray, it'll be like they disappear, even though they're still there. You can live in filth. Your house can be toxic, But if you spray this, it will cover and mask the smell that is going on in your house. Now, it can't get rid of it because think, if you got chicken bones laid out, them chicken bones still going to be rotting and putrefying over there. How can a Febreze spray stop putrefaction of the chicken? You know, they say that they eliminate odors. There's no way you can eliminate the odor. All you can do is mask it. Because the odor is still there. It's behind my chair, rotting, decaying, oozing. You know, worms and parasites and flies and all type of stuff is back there. But I don't smell it because my olfactory has been hijacked with the chemicals of the spray. The spray is more toxic that my body is aware of it more than it is aware of the rotting chicken back here. Now, they wish for you to believe that it eliminates odor, so you don't wash your chairs anymore. You just spray it down with Febreze. So now you're sitting on a dirty chair that got all kind of waste material in it, but it smells good because you sprayed it down with Febreze. This is what they want us to believe, that the chair is now brand new because you don't smell the bacteria that's growing in that chair. It's not putting off odor because you got the Febreze spraying all over the place. You can't smell nothing else except for the Febreze because it's more stronger than that which is going on in your environment. I wish you think of it like that. And it's not just Febreze. You got your air wicks and you know, that you plug in and all type of stuff like that. You plug them into your house. You plug them into your car. You don't even know what fresh air smells like. Because all the while, you're inhaling chemicals from Johnson & Johnson and all those other places that conveniently provide you with incense. Like the young man want to burn candles. I don't want you burning candles, brother. You know, and not drinking the wine. You can drink you some new wine, which is fresh juice. So fresh juice before it ferments. Don't let your wine ferment. Let it still be fresh juice. That's what fresh juice is. You know, you want to drink that. And, you know, you want to eat good foods. And you want to breathe fresh air. You know, get sunlight, rest and relaxation. I enjoyed this week of talking to you about the different nature of, you know, some organs in our body that the medical people have been constantly taking out, telling us we don't need them and stuff. Hopefully after this show you watch that you know that your organs and tissues are very important to you. And they just need for you to work with them. And when you do see them in action, don't get scared. Just work along with them. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to trap poison. They're supposed to grow. All you have to do is work along with them, and then they'll release that waste. And they'll go back to normal size. We see that in tumors. We see that in polyps. We see that in winds. We see that in abscesses. All these you'll say sacs hold poison and hold waste. All right. And the thing that we have to find out how to properly drain them, that they don't cause issues in our body or break and allow the waste inside of them to be released throughout our body, damaging and poisoning cells and tissues around them. So best of health and happiness from Savannah Natural Health. We hope that you learned something today, and we hope that you share this information, and definitely go to the website and go to the YouTube page and the Facebook page of All Things Relevant Black Media and follow. And even donate something for them where they can definitely keep this site going and this great information coming to us, because they have so many shows that enlighten us on all things that's relevant in our community and in our world. So best of health, and I love y'all so much, and I'll see y'all next week. Talk to you later.